Are you struggling to get customers, or is your business oversubscribed? Hope it's the latter. Good morning, everybody. Today, Ruby and I are coming back to a term that I hadn't heard in quite some time, but I'm hearing it like 3 times this week. Completely separate situations. And that's the concept of being oversubscribed. And the oversubscription model was written in a book, 10 years ago, about how some businesses struggle to get customers. They have to really hustle and sell, and some companies, some businesses are doing something so amazing that they're oversubscribed. If they lost half their customers tomorrow, they'd be backfilled by another group right away. So the idea from my perspective is, what is oversubscription? How does it work for your business? And then what can you do to start thinking about it? So what is oversubscription? It's a pretty simple concept. If you're really good at what you do, if you have a good, influential position in your market, if your brand is solid, if your delivery is good, generally speaking, you are going to have customers lined out the door. Not always, but a lot of times. And how many companies have I dealt with that are accidentally oversubscribed, meaning through no thought or fault of their own, they're just really good and they're really popular. But the Achilles heel of that is they haven't built anything. When the inevitable happens and there's a shift in the market, they're not as good, somebody else gets better, and now they have to hustle, and there's no hustle in them because they haven't had to. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. You got to think about how being oversubscribed impacts what you're doing, for one. And then for two, how can you continue to ensure that you're getting that oversubscription in your business, which in a more, I'll say modern term, is not the right word, but it's about generating demand. If you can create demand for your business, there's a world where you can stop selling because they're lined out the door. I don't want to buy from you because you're too expensive. Okay, moving on. So you want to think about, what does that mean? So I like the idea of using demand creation as that new term for what is really oversubscription. How do we get so many people so interested in what we do that they can't help but become part of our ecosystem? They love us, they want us, they need us. Amazing. They're going to become a customer. Fantastic. Not easy. Doesn't happen overnight. What do you need to do to make that happen in your business? So first and foremost, be really good at what you do. So the analogy that I've always heard is, why is one restaurant lined out the door, and why is another restaurant could fire a cannon through the place? Well, some of it is your approach. Is the food good? Is the service good? That's a good starting point. But the other piece of that is, do you have a good brand? Do people know you? Do they understand who you are? Is there mysterious nature to the business? Meaning, I got to go check that out. So a lot of these things become the levers you can pull to create that demand, become oversubscribed. So not every business can do it. Not every market is primed for it. So you have to think about that. But ultimately, if you can make it work for your business, creating this demand, being oversubscribed, makes it way easier for you to be comfortable with what you're doing, which, in my opinion, makes it easier for sales teams to become much more focused on what those buyer needs are, as opposed to having to pick up the phone, do cold outreach, all that kind of stuff. So the idea is like, what's the old saying? Nobody gets fired for hiring IBM. It's the same idea. So from your perspective, how do you become oversubscribed? What is it that you can be doing differently, better, smarter, with more quality, with more structure, to make it an easier process for a customer to find you, buy, understand your brand, understand what you do, fall in love, convert? All that to me is the stuff of legend that will help companies stay ahead of the game. So that's your job. Can you become oversubscribed? Can you work in that world of creating demand for your business and your category that makes it way easier for somebody to buy from you? So Lots of ways to think about that. I'm going to dive into this more. I think there's something to this that I haven't thought about in a very long time, and I want to come back to it. So I will. But for today, think about oversubscription. Can we line them out the door? Is that a thing we have to do, or do we have to beg, borrow, steal, plead for work? You want to be oversubscribed. Bottom line, Ruby says, oversubscription. It's the old way of saying demand. Let's create demand. And that's the forward motion for the business, for our work. Anyway, enough for today. Walking and talking with Ruby.